All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the 4th episode of our Heated Sports podcast. We really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're not really going to waste any time because we have a lot of things we want to go over here, so we're just going to get right into it. Before we get started on our actual sports topics for the day, we're just going to give a quick shout-out to the winners of our Heated Sports March Madness Bracket Challenge. As you guys know, March Madness did wrap up here last week with Virginia taking the title, avenging their huge upset last year. Shout out to our first and second place winners. That's really who we gave out some gift card prizes to. We had Nick from Rochester, New York, and Angela from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. Big shout out to both of you guys. If you guys are watching, we really appreciate everybody that tuned in. I think we had like 55, 57 total brackets, which is really awesome. We really appreciate everybody that participated in that, and we'll definitely be doing that next year as well, so make sure you tune in for that. And a lot of other contests and giveaways we'll be doing throughout the sports year as well. So we're going to get right into it here. As you guys know, the first segment we do is the Heated Sports segment. We had another big group of questions that got submitted here. We're not going to answer all of them, unfortunately, but we do have a couple of them picked out. So, Zach, I'll get the first one off to you. The first one that I kind of liked, which we touched on a little bit last week, but can the Astros make a World Series run this year? And if so, or if not, who do you have in your World Series? Way too early predictions, I guess.
After the first week and a half, I think they could. They're on a really good streak right now.
Yeah.
They just swept the Yankees.
Yankees aren't not looking good at all. Yeah.
They have no pitching right now. They're all injured. But I can see them in the World Series with the Dodgers again. The Dodgers are so good.
Do you have anyone competing in that division? I mean, the Mariners are going off right now, but I mean, I'll say we kind of mentioned it last week that they'll probably start off hot. We both kind of mentioned that it could be a team to watch out for, but Astros are pretty clear cut to win that division, I think.
I think the Rays can make a run too.
Oh yeah, I'll say they're playing they're winning that division right now. The Red Sox are not looking good at all. Yankees are kind of average right now, but still kind of early. Last week in my pick, I did have the Astros making. I think I had them winning the World Series. Actually, I definitely had them making it in the American League. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, baseball is going to be a long season. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But right now, the Astros definitely have the tools in place. They gave Verlander that extension, so he'll be leading that rotation for a while. So I'm excited to watch him. I definitely think they have a good shot. The next question we had here was just pretty much our MVP pick. So it was pretty much Harden or Giannis, pretty much the two clear-cut favorites to win MVP. Who we think's going to take it? I have to go with Giannis. I've stressed this in a couple episodes. James Harden obviously is an offensive monster. He's put up, I think his official average was 35 points and 7 assists, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giannis, he's just a complete monster. He's carrying the Bucks to that 1 seed in the East. He's gonna definitely make a playoff push, I think, for that Bucks team. Giannis he's just an unstoppable force, I think, in the league right now. So he would be my MVP pick. Do you agree with me, man? It sounded like you agreed with me.
I agree 100% because it's a team game and Harden just can't. He has Chris Paul, but Harden.
Yeah.
He just does too much, I think.
And they're the 4 seed right now, starting into the playoffs. So I mean, Harden's definitely carrying his team offensively, but as far as carrying the team as a whole and kind of getting them that a top seed in the West, it's kind of just not happening right now.
Not even that. Giannis has made Middleton a star.
All-star
team, and Eric Bledsoe is relevant again. Brook Lopez is great. He's good in the post. So it's a team sport, and Giannis is really showing that he's a team player for the entire team. So
I'll say, I mean, they're both definitely the most valuable players to that team.
Absolutely,
but it kind of seems like the MVP position or award is going to the best player on the best team most of the time, and that's clearly going to be Giannis in this case. So the next question we are going to address, not right now, but a little later on, was just simply how far do we think the Sixers will go in the playoffs. We're going to get to a lot of NBA playoff talk and a lot of NBA playoff predictions here later in the show, so we'll definitely be talking a lot of Sixers there. And an interesting question that we also got submitted was my thoughts on the new Steelers throwback jerseys. So a lot of people probably don't know this, but the new throwback jerseys the Steelers will be wearing starting this year is their old black and white uniforms from the 70s, which pretty much just have a more block font to them. So I'm not going to go into much detail or talk about this a lot, but I definitely like those throwback uniforms. I think the font looks pretty cool. I'm excited to see them. Other than that, they're really not too different from their current just home and away jerseys, but something cool, something different. I'd like to see them go back to the Bumblebee jerseys, but that's pretty much all I'll say on that. So
they're a little outrageous.
Yeah,
they're a little strong on the eyes.
Definitely, yeah. But hey, I like it. It's something new, something a little unique, which Pittsburgh doesn't do a lot. So we are going to talk a little bit of NBA stuff here now as the season unfolds, or officially unfolds here from the regular season. We're kind of gonna, like I said, we'll go over some of our official picks later on, but right now we'll talk about a few things here. So what I want to ask you, Zach, to start off is overall playoff look. Not some official picks, but Warriors or the field. If you got to put money on one or the other, what are you taking?
I think in the field this year.
The field?
That's absolutely. I don't like DeMarcus Cousins at all.
Oh, you hate DeMarcus Cousins.
He's a liability, yeah. him on the floor just defensively changes the team. Like, they've lost a lot more games than they thought they would have lost this year. So, but it's gonna depend on Steph Curry and if he can show up in the playoffs. I mean, he's been pretty good in the playoffs, but like doesn't have that Finals MVP yet, which people thought he would win by now. But Kevin Durant's obviously the better playoff player.
Oh yeah, so he's been a lot more clutch the last couple of years.
I think it just revolves around even Clay. Clay can also change the game too. So, what do you think?
I go back and forth. Like, I had this topic up here for a while. I mean, if I had to actually put like a significant amount of money on it, I would probably take the Warriors still.
Really?
I think they would still end up taking it just with the overall team that they have, the finals experience, just the overall dominance in the playoffs the last couple of years. Yeah, I don't think Boogie's the best fit for that team, like going forward, like on their roster. Clearly, he won't be there next year, it seems like. So, but either way, it's the Warriors. All those pieces that everybody knows, they're going to be in the finals again, and I think they'll definitely take it. The field is definitely stronger by like a lot this year.
Improved.
Eastern Conference has several really good, really big threats. In the West, I mean, you have the Rockets. I would probably look at the Rockets as being like the biggest threat to the Warriors. They have a lot of like competition there. That's probably the team that I would look at to pose the biggest threat coming out of the West. But if you're going head-to-head in a full series, I'm taking the Warriors every time there. So.
And the Warriors also played the Clippers in the first round. So the first round is going to be easy. They've been to Clippers so many times in the playoffs. But like you said, the Rockets, and I even think the Thunder. Like, Paul George, he's clutch.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's won like 3 games for the Thunder this year.
Especially this year. He just took it to a whole nother level this year.
Exactly. So, like, I like the Warriors, but the Warriors don't need a center. So, like, they've proven time and time again they don't need a center, and DeMarcus is ruining that. So
yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I mean, we'll obviously, like I said, we'll get into a lot of more playoff talk here coming up. That doesn't mean we can't talk about the draft yet. The NBA draft is coming up. 100%. Big year in college basketball. A lot of huge prospects coming up. Pretty obvious that Zion's going to be the number 1 pick, but who do you think's going to get it? I mean, it's going to come down to the lottery, but I mean, what teams do you think Zion would be the best fit for, and what teams do you think will actually end up getting that pick?
I think the only team you could actually play for is New York. It's just the market. Like, people don't want to see Zion in Cleveland or like Phoenix.
No, I was saying Phoenix either.
Like,
I mean,
it's just smaller markets and no one pays attention to Cleveland.
That would be a talented team in Phoenix, though. I mean, assuming Booker stays there and you got Ayton, who was the number 1 pick last year, throw Zion on there too. I mean, that'd be a pretty dangerous team.
I do agree with that, but like, it's just the market basically.
Yeah, because the New York market will feed off Zion for the next decade. Yeah.
It's just hoping James Dolan doesn't screw it up like he does.
which he very well could for sure. Yeah,
he's not a very good owner in my opinion. So.
So, I mean, the last thing I'll ask you here kind of before we get it like later in the show with some actual picks, but who are some like sleeper teams, some lower seed teams you think can maybe cause some problems for like some of the favorites here in the playoffs?
Utah Jazz. I beat the Rockets in the first round.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Defensively, they have Rudy Gobert and Joe Ingles.
I'll say they're a really big like defensive team, and the Thunder are a really big offensive team. So, I mean, that could kind of coincide and balance out. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think they could. That surprises me a little bit. I don't know if I would pick them, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sleeper team. I've seen some people on like sports, like some talk shows throughout the week that are picking them for an upset.
But it's basically a big 3 in Utah. It's a sleeper big 3 exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I think they could beat the Rockets. James Harden has shown before that he chokes in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. I'll say he definitely, at least the last like year or two, hasn't performed very well, or definitely had some questionable like performances in like single games too.
Defensively, they're also.
Oh yeah, no, definitely focuses more on his offensive ability for sure. The team that scares me a little bit, and even being a Sixers fan, the Nets scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't think they'll actually like beat this like Sixers in a full series, but I think they can surprise some people. They surprised everybody just in the regular season, making the playoffs. I mean, you have Russell like leading that team, taking a huge leap going forward this year. It's going to be interesting to see. I mean, they have a lot of like young pieces, a lot of like unexpected pieces. They're coming together, they're playing as a team. The Sixers can sometimes be all over the place, especially if Embiid isn't playing like in the first game or two, which it seems like he might not. That should be some concern for Sixers fans. It seems like he'll be fine going forward after that first game or two if he doesn't play, but I don't know, man. The Nets could be an interesting pick. I wouldn't pick them if I'm putting money on like who's going to win that series, but I think the Nets could definitely pose some problems for Philly here in that first round.
I think the Pacers could too. Pacers are a great team, yeah. And I think they're going to beat the Celtics. The Celtics, I think chemistry-wise, are just a mess.
Yeah. Even Kyrie. Someone asked Kyrie like his thoughts on like this regular season. He just says it's a bunch of BS. Exactly. Like you're about to lead your team into the playoffs, and you're making comments like that. Like it just doesn't sound like he wants to be on that team.
He's also about to leave the team too.
Oh yeah, yep. I'll say he's going to be gone regardless whether they win or lose anyway.
I just feel bad for Brad Stevens. Like he's a great coach, and Kyrie
he doesn't deserve all that drama. Yeah.
Kyrie just thinks that Brad Stevens defensively is not a good coach, and I think he's a great coach.
Yeah. No, I do too. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, like I said, guys, we'll get into some more official picks. We're gonna have our guest on, Harrison, and he's gonna give us a lot of NBA analysis. So we're gonna get some official picks in here later on. Switching topics a little bit here, we're gonna transition to football. My Pittsburgh Steelers are unfortunately in the media again, specifically social media, for not really good reasons. I mean, a lot of people, if you're following social media and you're following like sports news throughout the week, you saw that Antonio Brown took some shots at Juju Smith-Schuster. Former teammates Antonio Brown now being in Oakland, but clearly taking some shots at him, responding to some trolls here on Twitter, some like Steelers fans trolling Antonio Brown. One of them essentially just brought up a picture and is showing that Juju won the team MVP award, and Antonio Brown wasn't having that whatsoever. He pretty much made comments how bringing up the play that Juju Smith-Schuster fumbled at the end of the New Orleans Saints game. That game was in Week 16, pretty much eliminated their playoff chances significantly. Clearly, Juju didn't mean to fumble. I mean, it was obviously a really heartbreaking play, and even seeing him in like the interview afterwards, he was heartbroken and apologized to Steeler Nation after the game for it. But Antonio Brown is bringing that up, taking shots at him for no reason. Clearly, Juju didn't like make the comments to him. Juju hasn't initiated anything. Antonio Brown is taking these shots at him. When it seemed like everything was fine, he finally is off to Oakland. He made some few like nice comments to some former teammates, just like saying like, just keep your head up, like just make sure you're keeping like still working hard, things like that. And now he's just completely doing a 180 and just taking shots at Juju here. So I mean, what was your reaction like when you saw that, or what's your reaction on Antonio Brown now? I mean, not many people were, if they weren't fans, if they disliked him to begin with, if they didn't already, then they definitely do now. So.
No, yeah, it's just really immature. Like, he's a 31-year-old wide receiver. He has 2 kids. He should be like a role model.
He's a man. He's a grown man.
And Juju's like a 20-something-year-old receiver who's mature and is like ready to take the leadership for that team. And it just shows like how like money can really just change you, honestly.
Yeah, and like that that's like what like the quote is. It's like, you know, like money can do a lot of things. Like money will pretty much just make you more of like the person that you are. And I've always liked that quote, and in this case, it's clear that it's definitely like working for Antonio Brown. I mean, he got paid. He literally got everything he wanted. He got himself out of Pittsburgh to a team that he wanted to go to in Oakland, or at least like one of the teams that he kind of had picked out. And he got the huge contract. He got a massive new contract when he signed with Oakland, and he's still, for some reason, butthurt at former Pittsburgh Steelers teammates in the organization. And it really just doesn't make any sense to me. Like I said, Juju is just a kid that's trying to learn from this guy, like being a teammate with him. And for some reason, Antonio Brown is being extremely petty and extremely jealous about it, and I really don't understand it. I'm just glad this guy's gone, and I just hope Juju's just lights a fire under him, and he just goes off even more this year. So I'm excited for the season regardless, but I just really don't know. I mean, another thing I want to ask you here quick is, what do you think, like, for the season, the season-wise, who do you think's going to perform a little better? Do you think Juju's going to perform a little better, or do you think AB puts up some more stats?
Definitely Juju.
You think so?
I think so, yeah. Juju's ready. Like, I think he's ready to redeem himself after that playoff bust. Ben likes him a lot. So.
Yeah, Ben's gonna throw to him a lot still.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't like force it to him, similar to what he did with
not
Antonio Brown. But yeah, he'll definitely get him some balls.
Juju's not gonna throw a tantrum in the middle of the game.
Exactly.
He's not gonna get the ball enough. So. Antonio Brown's like a new version of Terrell Owens.
Yeah, that especially after this whole thing, that's been a lot of the comparisons on social media. Yeah.
So, I think it's just really dumb. They need to get over it. Antonio Brown needs to get over it and just move on.
Yeah.
Get ready for the season and try to like redeem himself after this awful offseason.
I want to know what the reaction is from John Gruden. Like, I want to know what he's thinking right now. Like quiet, the mess that he's gotten himself into with Antonio Brown, and just fans in Oakland. Like, obviously everyone in Oakland was like praising this guy finally coming to the team, a huge piece for their offense. But now it's just kind of like
looking bad.
This isn't good. You're stuck with this guy for the next, I think, 5 years is what his new extension was. Like, I wouldn't be too excited about it, even though he is one of the best wide receivers in football right now and has been for the last like 5-6 years. I just don't know if I'd be too excited about it. But we'll have to wait and see. Maybe things will die down. But as a Pittsburgh fan, I'm definitely glad he's finally gone. And I wasn't too happy with what they got in return for him. But after all this stuff is still happening, I'm totally fine with it. 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick this year. I'll take that in a heartbeat at this point. So that's all we have to say about the drama there in Pittsburgh. We're actually going to take a short break. We're going to get our very own James Duncan here on the podcast. Big news from the LA Lakers here in the last couple of days. Magic Johnson basically resigning, essentially quitting. I'm just going to use the word quitting on the Lakers. My boy James here has a lot to say about that, so we're going to take a short break and we're going to get him on, and we're just going to hear what he has to say, because we all have some pretty strong things to say about that. So we'll be right back, guys. All right, guys, we are back. We're here with Heated Sports' very own James Duncan. We're going to talk a lot of Magic Johnson, a lot of the dumpster fire that is the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm going to be using that comparison pretty
what
much
it
the
is.
rest of the offseason because that's exactly what it is. So,
Fucking
James, you're very anxious. You hit me up and wanted to talk about this
All
as
right.
soon as it aired.
All right,
what
so
do you got,
the
bro?
reason
What's going on?
look at it this way, and I know you're gonna hate what I say like right now, but I just gotta say this.
I'll roast you. It's fine.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it's fine. I want to be the Michael Rappaport of this whole situation, so I kind of just want to come on here and get angry. But I know I can't swear on this show, so this is gonna be a little bit difficult for me.
It's
but
a challenge.
it's
dude.
okay.
It's a
I
challenge.
understand. I'm not that upset about it. Look, this whole Magic Johnson thing. First of all, I think it's a good move for Magic, but we need to look at something. We need because I gotta say this because we haven't talked about this. LeBron James, the fall of LeBron James is coming, and
It's already here.
It's happening.
It's
no,
already here.
listen. I'm telling you, there's either two things that are gonna happen with this. Ready? You guys are gonna think I'm outrageous for
Hit me.
saying these things.
You already are.
Okay? I already said them.
Yep.
Hit me.
Right. Check this out. Space Jam 2 is canceled. I'm saying what I said in the group chat because I think it's true.
Dude, all right.
Space Jam 2 is canceled.
It's done.
All right, done. Because of course nobody wants to be on that. Because nobody wants to be with LeBron in a movie. Who do you think is going to be on a basketball court with him?
I saw Giannis said no to it.
Yeah, Giannis turned it
He
down.
rejected
so I don't-
Easy. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so here's my whole situation, right? So Space Jam's canceled, right? The HBO show will get canceled after the first season. Here's what's
yeah.
going to happen. LeBron will be the president of the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's what I said. After his contract.
That's okay. I know after his contract, and that's something that we could talk about later, but that's a whole other situation. Now, here's my whole issue with this whole Magic situation. It scares me. It makes me mad a little bit because can't you just hold it out for like a couple more days until everything's kind of just over and done with? And everything, you can just say, I'm out.
Why do you have to do it then?
Why do you have to do it now? I don't like what the Lakers are going to become.
No, my
It's
biggest.
going to be a mess. This is going to be a huge,
yeah.
huge mess. Look, I want to look at it this way, the way Colin put it, and I think it's a very good. These are very good points, right? Being a president of an organization for the NBA is very hard to do, and it's a very gritty job. And I think that's one of the greatest things that I've ever heard come out of Colin's mouth, where he was like, "This is not what Magic wants to do." But this is my problem. Magic's going around telling everybody, "I just want to have fun." Okay, I get it, but you dug yourself this hole, and how are you going to dig everybody else out of it? You just jump ship.
He dug the hole and he's bailing.
How
on
do
it
you?
now.
How
Yeah.
are you just leaving?
No, it's ridiculous.
Tell me how.
It's not by himself. Rob Pelinka is an awful person. I don't like Rob Pelinka.
No.
at all.
Now this is something
He didn't
that-
get along with him.
Okay, but did you see what they're talking about with the whole situation with the article that's coming out? Which
I
is
did
why-
hear that.
All right, this
Chris
is the other
Broussard said
thing.
it.
This whole article about Magic Johnson and the way that he's treating people within the Lakers organization does not surprise me.
Wait, give me details.
No,
I don't
no.
think
I
I've
don't think
heard
it's
about
true at
this
all.
yet.
I don't
You
think it's
so?
true, but I believe it. So apparently there's an So this is what people are speculating, right?
Chris
There's an
Broussard.
Chris
Yeah.
Chris
Chris
Broussard
Broussard
said
said
this, but they're speculating that there's an article. Well, there is an article out that was on.
There was.
There
They didn't publish it.
There was, but they didn't publish it. And what people are saying is that the league told them not to publish it,
Yeah.
and that there's a bigger force here in this whole reason of Magic
Yeah.
leaving
Whole
than
like
just him.
upper inner circle type of thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel like this whole situation with Magic is just like it's so ridiculous, but so right for him to do. I just think we need to start looking this show especially. I mean, because it's our show, but everybody else needs to start looking at this now and really I feel like everybody can sit here and say, all right, everybody's a little worried about LeBron, right? We're all a little worried about LeBron, like what's happening with them.
I'm not worried
why
about it
didn't
at
they- Okay, fine, whatever. You say whatever you want to say. But I feel like a lot of the different talk shows and a lot of things that people are saying, they're all very lenient to go after LeBron, and I think now we need to start going after LeBron like we go after people like Russ because it's the same situation.
Oh, it's exact. It's
the
it's a very
exact
similar
same
situation.
And I think this whole Magic Johnson situation, I mean, it just proves it. It proves it. I think the Lakers are going to be are still going to be a very, very, very hard team to get to the playoffs after this situation. What is Jeannie Buss doing?
Nothing.
That's the
Absolutely
problem.
Nothing.
That's the problem. She's doing nothing.
The entire upper management of the Lakers is a disaster
what are
right
you
now.
doing?
Nobody wants to play there. Whether it's with the upper management with Buss and Magic, or whether it's with LeBron, or probably a combination of the two. Literally, this is going to be the best free agent class in the recent NBA history. No one wants to play with LeBron. No one wants the Lakers, one of the top franchises in all of basketball history. None of these guys want to go there. No, I'm good. I'll go to the Clippers. Kawhi's like, yeah, no, I'll go to the Clippers.
Clippers or the Lakers.
When's the last time anybody that high profile of a player says, yeah, I'll go play for the Clippers instead of the Lakers?
Yeah.
Everybody for the past like 7 years of the Lakers basically falling apart.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's what the Lakers are right now. And like that's what they have been.
Still
it's just
are,
been
even with LeBron James. I think it's the best way to put that.
And it's just you'd think LeBron would start the come up and start like the rise back to what the Lakers should and know how to be, but it's just going down. I think
this is a good thing for the Lakers organization in terms of cleaning house and getting rid of Luke.
Clearly Magic wasn't doing well.
But we need, I think, all of us from a journalist perspective need to really sit down and start really cracking down on what's going on with this whole LeBron situation, because it's gonna fall apart quick if this thing doesn't. And the reason why I kind of wanted to go off about this was because everything Magic did was right. I don't think the way that he left was good, but I wanted to give more of a different take on this.
You can't tell the media you're leaving before you tell your boss. I don't think, especially when you're at that type of a position, I don't think that's the right thing to do. He's gotten a lot of backlash on that, and I agree with it. I mean, you have to at least have some sort of conversation that you're leaving.
This is also LA. We're talking about LA. We're talking about the city of, stars, but a lot of lies.
Yeah.
I could not imagine living in LA and like trying to just weed out everybody that shit, because that's all in the stigma that's in that place. So
that whole reason where he literally said, yeah, no, I didn't want to have that conversation because I know she would have like forced me back into it, and I would have said yes. I think that's complete like BS. If you know like where your stance is and you know that I'm done with this, then you have that conversation and you're done with it.
Jeannie Buss has him wrapped around her finger. Anything Jeannie will say.
Well, I'll tell you why that is because first of all, Jeannie. All right, you know what? Jeannie Buss is a smoke show. I'm saying it. If you didn't see her Twitter profile picture, like, listen, take a look at that, because I don't know what that. If you're a CEO
wild
of the
accusations
Lakers,
right now.
I'm just saying. I think that this is going to be really interesting to watch, but it's going to fall the apart. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'll bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out. Yeah, it's all
it's fine. But yeah,
we should have said that from the get go.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean it's it's my office, but it's fine. It's no big deal.
Yeah. Shout out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. That's it. That's all I have to say.
That's it.
I was just mad, and I just wanted to.
It's a dumpster fire.
I haven't yelled at a microphone in probably a month. So.
And it's not going to end anytime soon. And as soon as NBA free agency hits, we'll be talking about the Lakers and just the dumpster fire that is the Lakers in general a whole lot more. So it's not going to end here. This is just shocking breaking news that you literally hit me up about like 2 minutes after it like aired and be like, hey, we're ranting about this and this is ridiculous. So I'm all,
What do you think about Luke Walton?
He's gone.
Oh.
I know that he's gone, but like people say he's
LeBron's getting his coach. Are you kidding me?
People say that he's a terrible coach.
LeBron has Tyronn Lue on speed dial, and he's going to be in as soon as.
Oh yeah, give me Tyronn Lue.
That's who LeBron's going to want. That's who LeBron's going to want. Are you kidding me?
Justin, he's Tyronn Lue.
He's an awful coach, but that's who LeBron's going to want. He wants his guy,
bro.
It's going to happen.
Luke Walton got put in an awful situation, and I feel so bad for him. I wouldn't say he's a great coach, but like he went into that.
The Lakers need to get a coach in there that is going to be this is going to be hard to do.
They need someone that's not going to suck up to LeBron.
Juwan Howard.
They need an actual coach.
Exactly.
They need an actual
Juwan
coach.
Howard.
Sure. I don't give I don't care. I'm just saying like
they need a coach that's not going to try to be LeBron's best friend because that's very easy to do with who LeBron is.
But that's why Luke Walton's getting fired. He's not LeBron's best friend.
Tyronn Lue though, bro.
That's his best friend.
Luke
Walton's getting fired because he doesn't get along with LeBron James.
But
that's why. Like
I don't know.
LeBron James is running that team.
All right,
so he's gonna get the coach that he wants.
All right, bro.
Who's LeBron gonna want?
Look me in the eyes.
Howard.
Look me in the eyes and tell me that Tyronn Lue is gonna take the Lakers to the playoffs.
No, they won't. Okay. No shot.
All right, I just wanted to make that very clear.
It doesn't matter who they get as a coach. The Lakers are not making the playoffs with this current team. And if they do, they'll get swept in the first round because it'll be a 7 or an 8 seed.
No. Because everybody's sleeping on Lonzo. And James said this last week. Everybody's sleeping on Lonzo. I think Lonzo's a good player. I think now with the disassociation of the BBB, I think it's going to really, really fix this whole mentality. Look,
if he stays healthy, I think he'll be decent, but he's not going to be like a focal point with LeBron to like take that team like to the next level. I don't think he's that much.
People can't play with LeBron. He's like you can't manage him. You can't play with him. I think he is going to be done after this contract's over.
Yo, it just shows you what happens when power gets to a lot of people's heads.
Exactly. After the championship in Miami, his second stint with Cleveland, I did not like him there.
Sure.
From there on, I don't know.
I feel it.
I can go on LeBron all day.
He thought he could handle like the LA life, but it's caught up with everybody.
It's business.
I don't think it's even close to what he expected being over here in LA. I think he expected to just take over this team and they'd like cruise into the playoffs and maybe make a run with it, and it clearly is the exact opposite of that.
I
It's
also don't
falling
think
apart every single day.
Yeah.
I also don't think the fans have fully accepted him.
No, people are
After
calling
Kobe?
it Kobe. People are calling it Kobe's town again. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
Kobe-
much what people are doing.
It's Kobe's team. It will forever be Kobe's team. You can't, even if you're LeBron James, you can't go in there and say, "Hey, Kobe, this is my team now. I'm taking over the legacy here." People loved Kobe Bryant.
People loved Magic Johnson.
Yeah, but Kobe, I think I like Kobe better. LeBron didn't like Magic
All right,
Johnson.
but like, let's not forget about the. You know what? I'm not getting into that whole thing with
right.
Kobe, but that's all I gotta say.
That's for another time.
Yeah, that's all I have to say. Tyronn Lue,
dude.
you sleep on that, man.
Javon Howard's taking over, dude.
That could happen too. That's
Sure.
that's the other name.
But
dude,
I don't want to see Tyronn Lue in the Staples Center unless he's coaching for another team.
I don't
That's
think.
all.
No, I don't want to see it happen.
It's
think
gonna happen,
he's
though.
gonna be a joke, but I think it very well could happen.
Nah,
But
they're
that's
smarter
what
than
I'm-
that.
No. LeBron
That's what
is
I'm gonna
running that
specify.
team.
Yeah.
There's
If-
no
yo,
way.
If LeBron's a president, sure, I'll give it to you, but I need to see LeBron be the president first.
I'm just saying. That's what
What?
I've
What?
heard.
Tell me
And I
what's
think
on
that's
your
gonna
mind.
happen,
Heated,
but-
man.
Tell me what's on your mind.
LeBron, I cannot stand LeBron. Like, he's not he's a great player on the court. Off the court, he's a mess 24/7.
24/7 a mess.
Yes.
You got to give the guy a little bit of props. I know we're going over what we were saying, but you got to give the guy a little bit of props for being able to balance
balance
the
what?
the HBO show.
He's choosing to do that.
I think it's a bad thing.
No one told him to
I
do
still think
it.
it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, you have to, like, I look at LeBron James with all the stuff that he's doing from a creative standpoint because I'm a creator. Like,
But he's a
I get
basketball
it,
player.
But he's a basketball player.
player. No, no,
and
no.
Sure, you're right.
Oh
What
my
I'm,
God.
But he's also LeBron. So it's
it
like
bothers me when he said it's a basketball move when we all know it's a business move. He has a new show. He has the HBO thing. He started about Space Jam 2. It's for business. He needs to clarify what he's going to LA for.
because why don't you go to Philly if it's a basketball
Exactly.
decision?
Like,
Philly
has a better roster.
I would have hated LeBron in Philly
Why?
because I would have never seen a Sixers game again.
Okay,
And I
but
would
what's
have
your
never been able to. I would have never been able to drive through the city like as easily as I can to get to games. Or,
But,
like, things
okay,
like that.
I'm
every,
saying-
every train. Would
But
be
you
packed,
can't
it
you
would be a
can't
mess.
you can't disagree if he's making a 100% basketball decision. He's choosing this Sixers
Exactly.
team.
Has
over
LeBron
LA
always made a
team.
100% basketball decision?
No,
Yes,
that's
yes,
why I
he
said
has.
if he does
Miami. Miami's a prime choice. He went there for championships. He's got it. Now he went back to Cleveland. Got a championship there. And now he's in LA for business. He's finishing his career in LA for business. And setting his kids up
I
for
didn't
life.
come here
That's
to
what he's
defend
doing.
LeBron.
That's what
I
he's
came here
doing.
to say I agree with you in a sense.
He's
that,
part of the Lakers. You have to, like, expect this.
Sure,
You got me heated,
sure,
man.
but like, bro, like, dude, like, look, okay,
you just-
you have to like, you gotta look at like, okay, but you gotta look at LeBron like you looked at Kobe. Like, remember when Kobe was going through all that stuff? Do you remember, or
Kobe-
or were you too young for that?
No. Kobe.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh
Kobe
my
did business
God.
after he retired. He won the Oscar after he retired.
I'm not talking about Kobe doing business, bro. I'm talking about Kobe being in and out of the court system. What are you talking about?
I think he's a better player. I think Kobe's better than LeBron.
Have a nice night.
No.
I'm walking out of here. I'll see you guys later. You guys enjoy whatever you're gonna do.
I'll say
Enjoy
we'll-
Harrison. I'm
we'll
gonna
sleep
go.
on that one.
We're having a bonfire outside. I'm gonna go build that.
Have a
All
great
right,
night,
yo.
James.
Bye, guys.
Have a great night.
All right, y'all. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna get our guest Harrison on here after all that ridiculous LeBron talk and Magic talk.
Tyronn Lue.
Lue's gonna be the next head coach of the
He's
Lakers.
gonna- yeah,
it's
he's
gonna be
gonna be.
awful, but that's just gonna keep the dumpster
gonna
fire
happen, yeah.
rolling. So
It's
we're gonna get
LeBron.
Harrison on here, guys. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back. We're here with another Heated Sports member in Harrison Weaver. So thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely, man.
You
Thanks
were
for having me.
good. Yeah, I'll say you were back here reacting to pretty much everything that we were just screaming about for the last like 10 minutes. So
Man.
give us some of your takes, dude. Lakers, LeBron, Magic leaving all out of nowhere. What do you think?
I
dude?
have grown up like loving LeBron. Like I've always been all about. He's a fantastic player. If he's not the best, he's second best. I think he got his chip in Miami. He got a chip in Cleveland. After that, like he's.
With the state of the league and how good the Warriors are, it's clear that he's satisfied with that. I think. Like I don't think he's chasing rings
He's lost
anymore.
an edge. He's become a little moody. He's become controlling, and like here he is in LA. Like that team's not going anywhere because he's been so negative about it.
Yeah.
He's all about his business.
And you
he's
see
just-
the images of him sitting away from the team,
Exactly.
like
Absolutely.
6, 7
Yeah,
empty seats, and then
absolutely.
him. Like I can't stay. I really don't like that
And
at
like
all.
I really want to support him. Like I really want to be on his side, but like I just can't. Like he's been
It's-
a terrible teammate in LA.
Awful
know?
leader this year, and I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that he was the greatest leader in Cleveland. Like just
No.
because
No,
he's
no, no.
LeBron James,
Yeah.
there's
100%.
always like you can like assume that he's gonna be that leader role, but it definitely came to a lot more like shown to a lot more people kind of the leader that he is essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And it just really wasn't a good look at all this year for him in LA. I don't think.
No. But Ty Lue, man,
Dude,
that's blasphemous.
I'm gonna like reiterate this.
I agree with
I'm
you,
not
Justin.
saying
I agree with
I'm
you.
not saying he should be the coach, and I'm not saying
Yeah,
he's going
no,
to
I
be a
respect it.
successful
Yeah,
coach.
I hear you
but
there.
if
He's gonna get the
if it's LeBron's choice, which I'm thinking that right now is clearly LeBron's
Yeah.
team, and if it's all on LeBron and he wants his coach, his guy, where he can basically just be the coach again like he was in Cleveland, it could very well be Tyronn Lue. I think.
If he picks Ty Lue to be head coach, I can tell you right now, like he doesn't care about winning anymore.
No,
like, that's
clearly.
it. That team's done.
I mean, in my opinion, I think that's clear already, especially with
exactly.
all the news that none of these
Mhm.
big free agents are going to come there. I think LeBron's has it in that, hey, this is kind of what the team's going to look like.
Yeah.
We're just going to be chilling with these young guys, try to maybe develop them and see what happens. But if they don't get any of these top talents and like top free agents and like a KD or a Boogie or even I mean Kawhi's probably going to the Clippers, but
I hope he goes
like
to the Clippers.
if they
Yeah.
don't get Kyrie, KD, or even like Boogie or somebody like that, like, and it's this team pretty much that like starting next year, it's gonna be the same result
It's a
every
wrap.
single year. So
Two
Yeah.
questions. One, do you guys remember when Rajon Rondo sat away from the team and
Yeah.
how much hate he
Ra-
got?
yeah,
Rajon, he's been like that his whole career,
know,
man.
but, like,
He's funny.
The amount of
Yeah.
hate he got for that compared to like what happened with Ron when he did it, it's
Totally
it
different.
just sees how different players
Yeah.
are.
LeBron
like-
gets the pass
Yeah.
every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
number two, how do you feel about LeBron being 3,000 miles away from his problems in Brooklyn celebrating D Wade's retirement?
I kind of get it. Like it just goes along with the whole point. Like he's not here to play basketball anymore,
No.
and it's evident.
So,
I get like him and D Wade are like brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had
Banana
their
boat,
chips.
yep.
Yeah, the whole banana
yeah,
boat.
yeah,
squad.
the banana boat crew.
I get
yeah.
it. Like if LeBron for whatever reason like was retired, obviously, and like he
Mhm.
didn't have basketball going on, he could go
Yeah.
like watch that game.
Yeah.
But like you're a member. You're a member of the LA Lakers. Like you
Yeah.
have to finish your season with your team.
Yeah, you can't do that. I wasn't a fan of it either, but I'm like kind of conflicted because I mean him and Wade are probably like the two like best friends in the
Oh,
league.
absolutely.
I would say.
I
So
get
I
that.
mean, and especially with how legendary of a career D Wade had. Your season's done already in LA, so I mean I don't know if I totally hate him for that, but I think I'll end up agreeing that he should have been there with his team regardless. But I mean I really didn't give him as much hate as a lot of people have been with that, but that's a tough situation. But
This
compared
is,
with all the other problems, that's really I don't think that's that big in comparison to a lot of this other stuff.
this is a good point with you talking about D Wade. Just like as much as like we're bashing on the Lakers, LeBron right now, like we just had a great basketball week with both D Wade and Dirk having
Yeah.
their last
le-
game.
legendary like final
Both of them
games,
dropping
final weeks.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D Wade that 30-point game at home, and then going to Brooklyn and
Triple
drop
double.
triple double. Dirk dropping 30. Like yeah, he didn't move a lot.
He doesn't.
He
have
spent a
to.
lot
It
of time
doesn't
on the
matter,
perimeter,
yeah.
but he was
41.
splashing through.
Dirk
He had
is doing
one of-
just fine.
He had one of his classic like one leg fadeaways,
Yeah.
like mid ranger. Oh man, just brought a tear to my
I'll
eye.
say it was
Yeah.
beautiful.
D
dude.
Wade like
yeah.
back to back to back to back threes in Miami. Like it was perfect.
Yeah.
Great way
last,
to end it.
last thing about the Lakers, I promise.
Promise.
I just would feel better if LeBron would comment on what happened, other than just going to like.
Or
Brooklyn.
just take some like initiative and just like
Exactly.
take some of the
I just
blame. You
act
don't need
like
you
a
don't need to
leader,
put you
yeah.
don't need to put the
Mhm.
whole thing on your shoulders.
No,
But
yeah.
yeah, like back to that whole leader thing.
I just
Be
want
the
him to say
leader.
something, yeah.
Be the focal point of the franchise and take the blame for what's going on. Because obviously, probably 75-80% of this drama is around him, focused on
Exactly,
him.
yeah.
It's in like one way or another.
There's,
so,
yeah,
I
there's so
mean,
much of it
you have to
about
take-
him, and it almost looks from the outside like he's sitting there on the outside watching his own team
Fall apart.
fall
Exactly.
apart.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like he's taking a back seat,
Yeah.
and he
Mhm.
went there to be the star. He
Yeah.
wanted to be in the middle, and look
Yeah.
at him, he's just sitting in the
Yeah.
back seat.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done. No more Lakers.
All right.
Yeah, I gotta like
All right,
loosen,
yeah. I'll
loosen
say- yeah,
turtleneck.
we're gonna
after that,
let Zach breathe a little bit. I think. Yeah, he's gonna keep drinking the
Yeah,
water and take
drinking
some deep
water.
breaths. So we're gonna get into like the heart of the discussion here, doing some NBA playoff picks here. We had
Mhm.
that one heated question asking about the Sixers, but we'll just get like some general picks
Yeah.
here, dude. What do you think about the Sixers? You're rocking the jersey there.
What
What do you
I
think
love
about
it.
their chances going through the playoff, through the Eastern Conference here, and
Yeah.
overall, just like what are your picks coming out of the Eastern Conference?
So like, I love my team. I love Philly. We've had an amazing season. It's
Yeah.
been great. A lot of stars. I like us against Brooklyn. Okay, like Brooklyn's
Mhm.
been tough. They're edgy, but they're young. No playoff experience. I could see Brooklyn stealing a game, maybe.
Game, yeah.
Maybe when JoJo's out.
Like, yeah,
I don't want to get
for a
behind in
game
that
or two.
series. Nobody likes losing first 1 or 2 games of the series.
No,
so I think it's
yeah.
important to get one of those first 2 at least. I think we're gonna win 4-1 in that series.
Mhm.
Maybe, if not a sweep.
Yeah.
But then the problem is that after that we face Toronto.
Yeah.
In Toronto, I
That-
just think that they have so much more depth. I think Kawhi is going to pose a problem in the playoffs.
Defensively.
Yeah, and our depth's going to be an issue. Like, we're going to need big contributions from, like, Mike Scott, TJ McConnell, maybe Boba. I don't know. I just don't think we have the depth to get through this.
TJ can do it. I like TJ.
He's been very streaky this whole season, as he's been his whole career. He's a streaky guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can see us going. I think we will go 7 or 6 with Toronto, but I just don't know how we're going to win that series, especially because we won't have a home court. We don't have depth, and that's key in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If we have one injury, let's say JoJo gets banged up
I'll say
again.
like just like one of like
We're
those
done.
key starters.
That's it.
Yeah.
As
It's-
unfortunate as it is,
Mhm.
like, I just think we need more depth.
So do you have them coming out of the East? Do you think Raptors are?
I literally on my way here, I was just like debating back and forth between Milwaukee and Toronto, and like I'm probably gonna call it right now. I'm gonna say Toronto.
I
I've been
agree.
leaning that way the
I
whole
agree.
way. I think Kawhi is a game changer. The dude's won a chip with the Spurs.
Yeah.
He has the playoff DNA. I love the Bucks. I've been so tempted to pick them, but like they got swept by the Celtics last year, and before that they weren't in the playoffs, so they don't know what it takes to run the whole way yet.
No,
I think next
I'm-
year it's a different story.
Oh yeah.
But this year, like Toronto, they're built to do this. They can
Toronto's,
shoot threes.
Toronto's
They're
built.
physical.
They're built to compete
Yeah.
with the Warriors too.
Absolutely,
I
they
think.
are.
That's,
Yes.
that's my finals pick. I mean, I already kind of chose the Warriors over the field when we were talking a little earlier, but I think
agree.
Warriors Raptors is
Really?
going to be a great like finals if that's the finals.
Yeah.
That's my pick, and I think
100%.
that could easily be a 7-game series.
Because we forget a couple years ago, before Kawhi got injured, this was the year before the
he
whole
was dominating
Kawhi saga.
the Warriors.
They were up by 25
Before
on the
Zaza like
Warriors.
fell on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was dominating the Warriors.
They were
in that
winning game
series.
1 by 25 points, and Zaza stepped on his foot. Is that what it was? And
yeah,
he was
stepped
done.
on his foot and just
Like,
fell
changes
on him.
the
yeah.
whole thing.
I think Kawhi's a key factor just because he's in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
And like people think it's an easier conference, which it statistically is.
Mhm.
But like it's going
It
to
is.
show that he can play against the harder teams in the Eastern Conference because he's played against the top teams that are in the West.
And like I think it goes towards cohesiveness too. I look at the Boston team, which I think
Our mess.
on paper might be the most talented team in the East.
On paper, they should
but in
easily
the
compete with
playoffs,
everybody.
you got to be able to play together.
Yeah.
And I think they're probably the bottom of the conference.
I'll say that's the exact
Yeah.
opposite of what they're
Yeah.
doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying.
Kyrie's just a mess and has had the mentality for 3/4 of the season that he's
gone.
not going to be there.
He's
so
leaving.
he's clearly
doesn't care
gone.
about that team.
Now, the team doesn't care about him. I'm pretty sure it's very mutual right now. That the team is completely fine with him leaving as well. But yeah, I mean that's definitely one of the bigger keys is just being able to play as a team. I mean you can have a lot of star power, but if you don't have like that like chemistry with each other, you're not going to win games in like a playoff series matching up with a lot of these teams.
Absolutely not. Yeah, so I think the first round of the Eastern Conference, it's pretty set. I think 1 through 4 is going through. I can see Boston maybe having some trouble with Indiana.
I think
I'll
so.
say I
I
like
could see Indiana
a little bit,
stealing
too.
1 or 2 because like that team's scrappy. They play together. Like they can shoot. But I just don't see them beating Boston. Like, Boston just has too much talent. Like they're healthy.
I think
they're gonna be
the
minus
home
Marcus Smart.
field in Boston will help too. I think, but
Yeah. They'll be minus Marcus Smart, so that could be an issue. He's their physical defender.
I'll say he's a good defender. Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, I just don't see it losing.
I just think
there's no way.
Indiana chemistry-wise is just loads above Boston. Like
Victor Oladipo, like this is a different story. If they had Victor Oladipo,
I do
yeah.
understand that,
Mhm.
but like Nick Collison has really stepped it up for the Pacers, and I just think Boston's just gonna fall apart. Like
They
they've
will.
been so close to
Against
it.
Milwaukee.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Against
no.
Milwaukee.
They've been so close all
Oh,
season,
man.
and they're just gonna finally fall off
They have games where they look incredible.
against
Boston,
the Sixers.
yeah,
Sixers
it's
helped
sickening.
that.
I was at the game that we won in Philly. Like that was the greatest thing because like I didn't know like in my lifetime if I'd ever see
ever seen
another
it.
Philly victory over Boston, but we got them. It was great.
Finally, dude.
But they still own us. You know, like I would not want to see Boston in the second
That's what I'm
round.
saying.
I'd rather see Toronto. I think we have a better chance against Toronto than Boston. But
Yeah, I think so also. Just because it's like in
Yeah.
our head that we can't beat the Celtics.
Yeah.
That's a mental game. On
Exactly.
paper, I think the Sixers should beat the Celtics more times than
Easily,
not.
yeah.
But it's a mental game at that point. And for some reason, I compare it to like New England with Pittsburgh. New England's had like
Yeah.
the Steelers number for the last like 5-6 years with like the Brady
good
Roethlisberger era.
comparison.
But I mean, yeah, the Celtics just for some reason or another have had like the Sixers number nonstop. And in the playoffs last year, obviously too, beating them in dominating fashion pretty much in that series. But
Physically, Sixers can hold their ground.
yeah,
100%. Yeah.
The Bostons have like Adam Thesis, whatever his name is, for the like a center position.
Yeah. Or Tice.
like,
These are two.
And
whatever.
Embiid destroys him every time. It's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
mental.
Mhm.
It's all mentally.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm not
So-
saying like Philly doesn't have a chance like against Toronto because like we do. We can
I
win that
think
series.
it'll be a
4-3.
great
I'll be
series.
happy
I
to see
think,
it.
yeah.
4-3. I like the confidence. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last main question I'm going to bring up here is, you seem to agree with me that
Yep.
you're taking the Warriors over the field.
I hate saying it.
Seemingly having the Warriors
But you're
overall,
naive if you say
but
no.
who's their biggest threat? Not even in the East, because we
It's
said
hard,
Toronto
dude.
will probably give them a good like run for their money if that's like the finals matchup.
Yeah.
But in the West, coming out of the West, who do you think can give them the run? Give them the
I
run for
am
their money a little
thrilled
bit?
about the Western Conference playoffs. All right, like this is gonna be a good time. We have Utah against the Rockets first round, and like whoever wins that, which I think is gonna be Houston. I want to pick you. That's a great team. I just think like NBA, like it's a dream matchup. Houston against Golden State. Like everyone wants to see that.
Oh yeah,
Harden scoring 36 points a game.
I'll say that's my team that I think could like just
I think either
Talk
of
about-
them
yeah,
could give
just
Golden State a problem.
giving them a tough series for sure. I
honestly.
mean, especially after last year, almost beating them in that 7th game last year.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
would have hit Chris Paul.
Yeah,
I was so
yes,
upset when Chris Paul went
exactly.
down. Yeah. But I think
James
Houston
Harden
can
can
give
step
them a
it
good
up,
run.
yeah.
If Chris Paul can stay healthy, that's a 7-game series.
Mhm.
I think it also comes down to how well Golden State can gel. I think if Boogie Cousins steps up and plays well, like it's game over.
Zach
Oh my
hates.
God.
They've looked
hates
better
Boogie
this season
Cousins.
with Iggy in the lineup. When Iggy's
Mhm.
starting, when he's playing well, like that team's been
And,
lights
and,
out.
and the,
Forget about
the
it.
Warriors are known for making adjustments in the middle of a series.
Yeah,
Like if they need
that
to, and if
team-
it doesn't pan out, of like the first couple games they struggle with Boogie and they're starting, they'll switch it up in a
They
heartbeat.
don't need a center.
Yeah,
Jordan
they
Bell.
don't.
Jordan Bell is great. I love Jordan Bell so much.
Yeah,
Yeah, that he
because
brings
they don't
energy.
need him to
He's-
score. He's a
Yeah.
great defender, and
Yeah.
he's just a big guy in the middle. Like
They
they
don't
don't need
Absolutely.
him to score, so he does his job.
They
and
do
it's
not
great.
need
Yeah.
Cousins.
Not at all.
Yeah. So I mean, you have Houston. Who's down there? It's what, Portland and
I'll say-
OKC.
I like
OKC.
Portland a lot.
I would say that too if Nurkic didn't go
Yeah.
down with torn ACL. But
Yeah.
now they lack like a defender right in the middle. I can
Mhm.
see Steven Adams giving them problems.
Steven Adams.
Him and
gives
Westbrook have a
anybody
great-
problem. Yeah.
Great give and go kind of game. And they have Paul George. You know what I mean? Like yes, they have Dame. Portland has Dame and they have
Mhm.
McCollum. But I like the Westbrook and
Paul George
combo
like
better.
that duo a little better.
I do. So I see OKC winning that series.
Mhm.
Then they play the winner of the Nuggets and Spurs.
Nuggets and Spurs.
So
Yeah.
the Nuggets, I love the Nuggets, but I think that this is a team that we see going to the finals next year or the year after. They're still a little young.
Mhm.
They don't have that playoff DNA yet.
Get that
So I
chem-
think
get
that
that
they
chemistry
are
built.
upset alert a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe San Antonio gives them problems just because of Pop. That's not the same team they've had. DeRozan, he doesn't translate that well in the playoffs.
Mhm.
But I could see maybe OKC beating him. OKC's a little immature, a little
Mhm.
erratic.
Russ.
Yeah, at Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
So I mean, I still see Denver going to the conference finals,
Yeah.
but I mean, they just played Golden State, I think last week, right?
Mhm.
And Golden State stomped
Destroyed
on them,
them.
Yeah.
stomped
They-
on them.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
What wasn't
Golden
pretty.
State has a playoff switch,
Yeah. it's-
and they're one of the only teams I think right now in the NBA that can flip it on like a very real level.
They
I think that they're about to go crazy.
they casually won the
Mhm.
West. They
Yes.
did not stress. The Bucks stressed to get that 1 seed and like
Yeah,
to
100%.
play 100% every single game to win the East.
That's
The-
another
the
reason.
Warriors casually, we're clearly going to be the 1 seed, nonchalant throughout the season, and then here they are, number 1 seed in the West. And
Yeah.
I think they'll run away with it.
That's
for
why
sure.
it's Golden State
Yeah.
winning versus the field. But
Yeah.
you just said something that made me forget when I was talking about the Eastern Conference is that Milwaukee pushed for that 1 seed.
Mhm.
Toronto's a 2 seed with Kawhi missing. He only played 60 games, something around
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
So he sat out for a lot of those games, and like they're a 2 seed, and like they're dangerous.
Oh yeah.
You know,
That's
so,
why I
mean,
have them
they-
in my finals. I think
100%.
I think 6-game series. I don't think it'll go to 7 if it's like Bucks Raptors in that conference
Mhm.
finals. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure. I mean,
Toronto did not push as hard as Milwaukee did for the
no,
seed.
not at
So
all.
this
they were like
there's more
they
to
were
this.
satisfied like with the 2
Oh,
seed.
yeah.
I think like
Mhm.
they had the 2 seed by like a good handful of games, and they were
Like
clearly
8
okay
games,
with
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're gonna wrap it up there. Last take, Raptors Warriors. Is that what you got?
It's the Warriors.
Stick-
You know what I mean?
No, I mean like in your finals, like Raptors.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Warriors.
Raptors
finals.
Warriors.
You got-
I
you
kind
got
of
the
gave away my
Warriors,
pick
yeah.
there now. Yeah, we all know. Yeah.
Finals pick.
I think Warriors and Raptors as well.
Warriors,
but I
Raptors?
think Raptors are gonna win.
All right, guys.
I like it.
Raptors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll respect that. Like I said, I think it'll be a good series. But there you have it, guys. You don't even have to watch any of the playoffs because it's going to be the Warriors and Raptors
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
finals. So it's going to be fine, guys. So
We're geniuses.
Yeah.
yeah. So thank you to Harrison. We love you over
Thanks
here
for
at
having me,
Heated
man.
Sports. Check out his articles. He puts out an article every week specifically for NBA and college
Mhm.
basketball. Now that wrapped up.
Yeah, so
But-
whoever reads that, I just want to thank you.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
for
a lot of fun writing for
I'll
you
say
guys.
Zach as well.
Yeah.
I'll say that Zach puts out a lot of articles. He does one a week as well. So be sure to check out the articles that we have every single week on our website at www.heated-sports.com. And yeah, be sure to drop any comments or suggestions on our social media as well. We have Twitter and Instagram that we're very active on at @heatedsports_. So be sure to check those out too, guys. And we ran a little long today, so thanks for bearing with us with the heated LeBron and the Lakers
That-
debate. We got a lot of we got a lot of NBA talk in here too, guys. So yeah, we really appreciate you tuning in. And same thing, feel free to drop any heated questions throughout the week. Do you want to hear us talk about next time?
Yep.
And yeah, just any overall feedback, we'd love to hear it about
We love
heated
hearing from you
sports
guys.
or just
Yeah.
about or about the podcast in general. So we really appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we'll see you guys here next Monday. So peace
See
out,
you
guys.
guys.
Have a good one.